truth!
Hey everybody, Jesus loves you. My name's Cody, and you're watching the Monday episode of that Christian news show thing that I do. Real quick, just some updates. Sorry to my GodTube users last week. I wasn't told right away that it didn't upload, and I didn't really pay attention to it until a couple of days ago. We tried re-uploading it, that didn't work either, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to upload this video to GodTube, but if I can, and you guys see this, I apologize. Also, before I get into the news, if you guys want to help out a fellow Christian without paying any money at all, Danielle Cassidy is a new friend of mine, and she needs 1,000 votes before the end of the month. So if any of you watch this, Christian or not, just go and vote on the link that I'll leave in the description below. It will be the first link that I leave on there. All you have to do is just sign up on Facebook and just press vote. It's for money, so it's not a Christian organization or anything, but she is giving the money to charity. So pretty much all you have to do is press the button and you help someone out less fortunate. So again, Christian or not, go do that if you have a heart. And I have a lot of news stories to talk about today, so let's get into them. First of all, if you guys haven't heard already, Whitney Houston died over an overdose. They don't know if it's for sure an overdose of drugs, but she had pills. They think that there was possible criminal intent there. They don't know for sure. As of right now, as I tell you this, there are no legitimate answers of what actually went on. So she will be missed. Keep her friends, family in prayer, all that good stuff. And our next story, gas prices are up again. And I know I talk about that like anytime the gas even fluctuates a little bit, I'm like, oh no! Or, oh yes, when the gasoline went down that one time and I was like, oh, I gotta talk about this. This is amazing. Anyways, gas prices are now average of $3.50 per gallon in America. And we blame Europe! Even though it's still supposed to be our biggest export, so I don't know how that works. But because of crude oil in Europe, the gas prices did go up a little bit, so be prepared for that. I think the moral of that story is when anything goes wrong, America should blame Europe. Because that fixes all problems. That's called sarcasm. And before I get into like Christian news, I talk about a rapper named Jemias Jai, who decided to take the payment of $350,000 that he was supposed to receive for taking a plane, riding it over to Africa, and having a show there, but then just decided not to go. And like any normal person, the people at the hotel decided to keep a family of Americans hostage until he'd go over there and perform. Now there's a whole thing with a ransom, and they gotta give all this money, and it's just this really terrible thing, but it's so petty. I mean, yeah, $350,000 is kind of a big deal, but just because you didn't get to see your favorite rapper doesn't mean you hold people hostage. But I do get it with people being obsessed with money, and it was like $350,000. But I do feel like there's better ways to resolve problems than holding an American family ransom. But I mean, that could just be me. In South Carolina, there's now license plates you can buy that say, I believe. It's got 3 crosses on it. There's been a few other states that have tried to do this, and they said, no, it's just politically incorrect. Whereas this is just kind of like, oh, it's 3 crosses, it's just, I believe. It's being paid for by an organization, not the state itself. It's really interesting, because they are legal plates. Kind of cool. Found it, brought it up with you guys. So if you live in South Carolina, you can get license plates. Let everyone know you're a believer. Also, it turns out that Tim Tebow is just not the little people's hero. Jeremy Lin is a basketball player who plays for the New York Knicks. He's the first Chinese American to play basketball. And I am going to refrain from making the stereotypical jokes of how he's Chinese and he's short and it's basketball, so that's why he's the first. Mostly because I'm like 5'3" and don't really have any room to talk. But anyways, Jeremy Lin is almost as outspoken about his faith as Tim Tebow is. But Jeremy says that Tim Tebow is a big inspiration to him and all the other Christian athletes out there. Now, Jeremy Lin doesn't do any like Tebowing type stuff or anything like that, but if you go to like his Facebooks or his Twitters or anything like that, he's always talking about God. And his Twitter bio says, to know him is to want to know him. Talking about Jesus. He also talks about his faith a lot in interviews, things like that, so he's really kind of cool. And it's just so awesome because I feel like the Christian nation as a whole is just kind of uprising right now, and it's an amazing thing for me. Revolution! Anyways, let's move on. In all honesty, never thought I'd be talking about Victoria's Secret on the Christian News Show, but here we go. Kylie Bisutti was a lingerie model for them, and she decided to quit her modeling career for Christ. She has a husband and she wants to keep that sacred and keep her body sacred for him. Which is an amazing thing. She was also doing things for parties and she was doing stuff for men's magazines, things like that. So this is a huge change for her. This is really awesome to see. Again, just another celebrity that's like, you know what? I'm going to praise the Christ. Models kind of bug me anyways because it makes everyone think that's how a woman needs to look and it's kind of ridiculous. Don't get me wrong, she is very delightful in many ways, personality-wise, not looks. And again, we should blame Europe. Frenchmen, give your girlfriend a hot dog or feed her McDonald's for a week. Instead of talking about keeping marriage sacred and things like that, we move on to our final story. And our final story is about online dating, which I can personally say that I don't understand. But over 40 million other people do understand, I guess, and they are looking for their soulmates, many of which are Christian. Christian dating sites specifically have been on the rise lately, and it's even more on the rise now during Valentine's Day. People are like, I don't have a soulmate, and I feel like I need to waste money and buy teddy bears and chocolates. But it is becoming a really huge deal. People calling it the future of dating. And I suppose it is because it's a lot faster to do. You get to know the person right away if they're telling the truth. And with Christian dating sites, you can tell whether or not they're Christian or not, because if they're not Christian, why would they be on a Christian site? Not always true, but most of the time it is. So again, I don't fully understand it, but I guess I was a teenager when internet was on the rise. With MySpace and Facebook and things, and people were all like, don't ever meet people online. So I guess it's just kind of weird to me. It's the question of the day. How do you feel about online dating? Do you think it works? Think it's a good idea? A bad idea? Just what are your thoughts in general? Anything you want to post in the comments below with your answer. If I get 5 more subscribers to answer the question of the day, I'll randomly pick one of those subscribers, give them a $10 gift card to c28.com. Very happy, I feel good about myself. And from that we can go to the verse of the day. And the verse of the day is Timothy 2:22. Flee from the evil desires of the youth and pursue righteousness, faith, love, and peace, along with those who call upon the Lord with a pure heart. Huh? Look at the Bible being relative to today's society. And that's all the news that I found interesting in the news today. So, in closing, haters keep hating, Christians keep praying, and to everybody, like and subscribe. I will see you later, and God bless.